Nio has closed at 633, remaining above that $6 level, guys. And on the last video, we mentioned that price has gotten above that 6, and if the sellers try to bring us down, as long as we hold above that $6 level, we are looking nice to the upside, continuing this breakout. And that's exactly what happened. Price came back down with a very solid red bar, showing that the bears are trying to get that movement downwards, but we did hold up, bouncing right back up. Sellers gaining that control on today, closing us around 633, but we do really like that we got the bounce here, and we do still trend higher above that $6 level. So great price action still, guys. Looking like we are headed to our price target of 770. All right, guys, starting on the weekly time frame, our price targets on the stock are 770 being our short-term price target, our medium-term price target being $9, and our long-term price target being around that 1250 level. Now, the main structures that we've gotten into on the stock are these descending triangles, like we like to cover on the channel, guys. First descending triangle we got into was stemming right around close to the bottom of 338, a bit higher, and that led to around 100% movement to the upside, closing at that 770 level, creating that resistance that we just recently broke out of, guys, being that long-term descending triangle here. And inside that pattern, guys, we see a shorter-term triangle-like pattern where we broke both the short-term resistance as well as this long-term resistance, leading to this nice breakout and continuation, breaking past that $4 level, all the way to that 633. And we do look nice for some continuation here, guys. We are looking for that retest of this high being that 770. And given the relative strength, we could definitely be trending to those higher levels like $9. All right, guys, on the daily chart, we see that smaller triangle within that long-term triangle, right, stemming around that 770, bringing us all the way down. Very, very volatile price action. We find that bottom right around that $338 level. Sellers try to get their movement below that level, quickly get bought right back up, and we find this newfound resistance here. It's where we get a bit tighter, right? Still volatile, but then we see the tightest price action on Nio that we've seen in a very long time. Tighten up energy is building. Someone has to win, meeting up with this resistance and this longer term support level of 338 being a very nice bottom. And we get that explosive move to the upside, topping right around that 520 level. We form a flag and pole like structure. So we build some energy, big move to the upside, pennant like structure, flag and pole, right? Textbook. And then right when the sellers try to make their movement, breaking under that support level, we see that buyers buy right back up with a solid green wide bar, showing that shift in momentum and showing that power that the buyers have. Following with the next day, breaking above that resistance of that pennant and continuing all the way past that 520, past that 540, those being some important resistances to break. Continuing this very volatile movement, we see that the sellers do get in control, but we hold up at that $6, which is crucial, guys, because breaking that $6 level is very important, right? That's that psychological dollar level. That's the last resistance we really had to worry about, right? Kind of tapping off that level here, coming up, trying to get back up after that big descending motion, tapping off that level here, right? That was the more important resistance that we had to claim over to see that upside to 770 being the top of this descending triangle, right? We get that break, and then we get that bounce right when the sellers test that zone. And then we bounce up, testing higher levels than we did previously. And now we see that the sellers are still in the battle. A little bit of back and forth going on here, guys, but looking like we are going to continue in a upwards motion. Always a possibility that we do chop around a little bit again, right? Creating another kind of flag and pole-like structure. That's not out of the question, but I do think that there's a chance that we continue our volatile move to the upside, turn into that 770 before getting held up in some real chop like we kind of saw right here, right? Doesn't mean that that has to happen. Definitely still a lot of momentum and volume on our side. As of recent times, we've seen huge, monstrous volume spikes. So as long as volume can keep seeping into Nio, guys, looking like we are going to continue in that volatile nature. All right, guys, I'm taking you to the hourly chart. This is where we see that break of that pennant, right? This is the main breakout that continues our breakout. So we've gotten that breakout of the long-term resistance as well as the short-term, leading to that big first run-up all the way stemming around that 338. To around that 520 level, being a very substantial movement. This is where we find a bit of a holdup, create this pennant, and we break out very nicely. So sellers do try to find their move to the downside, gapping down, riding off the momentum, breaking us under that resistance for a low period of time. But then we do gap up, continue to the top of that range, and break out of that resistance, leading to another further big move to the upside. So textbook stuff, guys. I mean, big run up, little bit of chop, finding a pennant range, and continued breakout. So we are still in that initial type of breakout motion, breaking out of that long-term resistance where we were expected to see a lot of upside. And like you'd expect, breaking that big psychological level like $6, see a little bit of seller pressure. That's exactly what we see here. But we do bounce right when we need to bounce. Very good price action here. leading to a gap up continuation to 683, getting higher than we did last time. And now the sellers are finding a movement to the downside. So what you'd want to see here is just a continued stair step like pattern, right? So a move down, further move up, smaller move down, further move up, right? Just kind of stair stepping our way up. Going to be a little bit of back and forth, right? Like I said, we could be forming another type of pennant like structure. That's not out of the question, but still looking very, very good here on Nio, guys. So we're still amidst a very big breakout here, guys. Like we saw in that last descending triangle, we did around 100% from that breakout. Very monstrous move to the upside. And this could be no different, guys. We've been seeing a very big move unfold here. First, we saw that nice movement from that range to the upside, got held up a little bit, but now we're continuing our movement. Very monstrous move so far. So we're doing something very similar that we did in the past. And I think we are looking very good to that 770 as long as we hold above that $6 level and continue to trend higher. Ideally getting into a stair step like pattern, higher highs, higher lows. But if we do form some sort of a pennant, that still is a good sign as long as we hold above that $6 level. So let me know your price predictions in the comments below. Where do you guys see Nio in the short and long term? And if you guys want to see more Nio content, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, guys, trade smart. I will see you all in the next one.